Hello guys, I want us to go ahead with our KCSE Computer Practical Predictor, KCSE year 2020-2021. And in our previous session, we went through Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel, that is spreadsheet and word processor questions. But this time round, in this series 2, I want us to go through database and desktop publishing. Therefore, the first question is a database question. Question number 1, create a database called Uchaguzi Wanja, 2 marks. Then create the following tables in the database. Therefore, we have contestants, note better, DOB stands for date of birth. Therefore, we have a table with ID number, first name, last name, county, DOB, and occupation. We also have table 2, seats, with ID number, county, seat, and number of contestants. Then we have table number 3, remarks, greater than 80,000, that is Mshindi. Then between 60,000 and 79K, we have Amepambana. Then below 59, we have Jaribu Tena. Then part 3 of the question, given the contestants' GAN votes as followed respectively, insert a new column called votes in table 1 and append data as follows. Therefore, this is some data that will append or add to the table. Assign a primary key to appropriate field in table 1 and table 2 and create relationship accordingly, 5 marks. Create a query called UMRI to display ID number, last name, first name, and date of birth. Given that the current year is 2016, calculate the age of contestants. Create a query from table 1 to display the contestants who are engineers by profession. Save it as engineers. Create a query called MAO. Use if function to append the remarks in table 3 to table 1 in a new column called remarks. Then, given that the number of contestants reduced by 10%, create a query called upungufu using table 2 and calculate the new number of contestants per seat, 5 marks. Hint, insert a new column called reduced. Create a multi-table form called yote to display first name, last name, ID number, county, remarks, and seat, 6 marks. Populate a pie chart displaying county and number of contestants. Then print all the queries. Therefore, this is a very technical and a good access question. Therefore, we can go ahead and see question 2, DTP or desktop publishing. Create the below publication as it appears and save it as computer text 01. Remember, spelling mistakes are penalized. Therefore, you have to save it exactly as instructed. Therefore, set the page as follows. Paper size A4, margins 2 cm all around the document. Then orientation should be landscape. Therefore, this is the publication you're supposed to come up with. Therefore, you're supposed to create a book cover, Form 3, Secondary School Computer Studies, published by EXT Mafisi and EAT Eritrea. Therefore, this is the publication that you're supposed to come up with in this question. And therefore, let's begin with Microsoft ACCESS or database question, just a nutshell of how this one should be done. Basically, I have already created the 2 tables, therefore I shall just go ahead and answer the questions. Therefore, given that the contestants GAN votes as follows respectively, insert a new column called votes in table 1. So, in Microsoft ACCESS, I have the tables. Therefore, I just need to add a field here, this field. Therefore, the field here is votes. If I just call it votes, then from there, from the votes, I can just go ahead and key in the the marks, the votes. Therefore we have 56k, then we have 5600, then we have 45k, we have 1k, we have 87k, then we have 1500k. Therefore we can just go to design view of this one. Therefore I have added that one, that is a number type. Then we can proceed to the next question. We have our 3 marks so far plus our 13 marks there. Therefore assign a primary key. Therefore I had prior done that, but let's just have it. You just right click and then assign the primary key. Also for this one, the primary key is this one. And primary key must have the same data types so that you can enforce referential integrity. We proceed. Create a relationship. Therefore I need to go to database tools, relationships, then right click here, show tables. I add my 2 tables that way. Therefore this I have this table, I also have this table. These are my 2 tables. Therefore I needed to drag and drop. Therefore I'll be instructed that I have 1-to-1 relationship. Therefore I can just tick this, then create. Therefore you can see I have 1-to-1 relationship. Then I can save that one. Therefore when I'm in this point, I can be in a position to see these plus signs, these ones, showing me that my relationship is working that way. Then we can proceed to the next one. Create a query called UMRI to display ID number. This one, save it as UMRI. Therefore we just go to create, then query design. Then we have these ones and these ones. Therefore I need to have ID number. Therefore I have the ID number. I have the last name, first name in that order, then date of birth. That is how I have it. Then we assume current year is 2016. Therefore ladies and gentlemen, let's do that one. Therefore just kind type of age. Then this one should be 2016 minus now DOB, that way. Then you tick this one to make sure that it is displayed. Then I can just go and save that one as UMRI. Remember, spelling mistakes is penalized. UMRI. Therefore this is my UMRI. Then I can go to design, then run. Therefore you can see I have by the year 2016, these were the ages of these guys. Then from there we go ahead to the next question. Create a query from table 1 to display contestants who are engineers. Save it as engineers. Therefore you just go to create, then you go to design, and then you can double click your tables. Therefore you want to display these guys by occupation. Therefore you can just double click the feeds like I'm doing that way. Then go to where the occupation is here. In criteria you type engineers. You type engineer that way. Then save it as engineers. Engineers that way. Then see what happens. First of all, go to contestants, make sure the word engineer is typed correctly. Therefore when I go to design and run, I should only get these guys who are engineers. Therefore you can see I have only Kimani and Muhammad from Nairobi and Wajir. These guys are engineers. Therefore I just cross that. Then I go back to the next question. Create a query called MAO. Use a function to append the remarks as shown here. That is for votes. Therefore I just go again, go to create query design. I'm using the contestants only. Therefore I can still do the same. I drag and drop by double clicking. Then I save my query as instructed. I have been instructed to save it as remarks. small letters. Remember, spelling mistakes are penalized. Therefore, I use if function to do my stuff here. Therefore, I just go to this point here. Then I want to write the remarks. Therefore, remarks. Then I can just pull this. I want to write my if function. In Microsoft Access, if function starts with a double I. Therefore, if votes is greater than 80k, then we are giving some remarks as Mshindi, comma. Then I repeat if votes is greater than, next one, 60k, then I give my remarks as amepambana, comma, else jaribu tena. That way. Then I have used two ifs, therefore I cross with the two buttons that way. Therefore, this is the function. Let's see whether it works. Jaribu tena. Therefore, this is how it looks like. Therefore, if votes are that, let's see, save it. Then let's see what we have. Design, then run. Therefore, you see we have jaribu tena, Mshindi. We have one guy here, Oren Tutu. This guy was the winner. All the others are jaribu tena. That way. Therefore, our query is correct. Then we proceed. Given that the number of contestants reduced by 10%, create a query called upungufu using table 2 to calculate the new numbers. Therefore, go and create a query called upungufu, design using table 2. So we double click, then save this one as upungufu, that way. Then we reduce the number of contestants. First of all, we have to ensure that the contestants field is number. This one, it is number. Then we just come to this point, we type reduced. We want to compute something here, therefore reduced. Then reduced, we are reducing what? We are reducing contestants, reducing them. Therefore, you are multiplying by 90%, which is 0.9. Therefore, we shall multiply by 0.9. That is 90% of the contestants. We reduced them. So I save that one as upungufu, then design and run. Therefore, though there is just a bit of reduction here. There is a bit of reduction. Therefore, we needed to at least see some reduction done. Therefore, that is how it was supposed to be accomplished. Then we go ahead, create a multi-table form called yote to display first name blah 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 blah. Therefore, just go to this point. We need, in case you are told to come up with a multi-table form, you create a query. Therefore, you just go to design. We need to have some fields. Therefore, we need to have first name. So just make sure that two tables are visible. Therefore, you need to have the ID number, the first name, the last name. We need to have the county. We also need to have remarks. remarks and seat. So for that case, we need to have remarks. So we need to go to create, then query this, that is query 1. Then we have the queries here. We shall use queries with remarks. Also, we shall use a table called seats. That way, see what I have done. Therefore, I have the ID number, first name, last name. I need the county, Then we need remarks and the seat, that way. And then we save this one. That's as yote. Therefore, this is yote multi-form will be created from this query. Therefore, you see, this is what we need. This one. Then we just need to go to create. Then we go to we are creating a form from yote. Therefore, you can just hit that. Then go to create. We can create a form direct by hitting on that. We can have a form directly created for us, just like I have done. That is yote. If I just needed to rename it, alternatively, you can just go to create, then you go to this point here, form wizard. Then using yote, send everything next. Then I want it to be tabular next. Yote. For example, I need it to have underscore here, underscore yote, then finish. Therefore, this is my yote form created by the wizard. Then from there, populate a pie chart displaying county and number of contestants, 2 marks. Therefore, you can go to create, then you hit report design, that way. Then go to design. When you are in design here, you go to the chart, hit the chart and draw it here. That is the wizard. Then we need to have county and number of contestants. Therefore, we just go to seats. Then next, we need to have the county and number of contestants. Next, then we need it to be a pie chart. Next, we wait. Then this is our pie chart. We can preview how our pie chart looks like. This is how our pie chart looks like. Then from there, just hit next. Give it the name you have been given. I just call it pie chart. Then finish. Therefore, this is what we have. Some of the colors have been repeated here. Therefore, you can now be in a position to have everything designed for you. Therefore, this one, the pie chart, is not yet saved. Just save it as a report there. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, that's how that question was supposed to be tackled for you to score 50 out of 50 marks. Our DTP question. Therefore, you are supposed to set paper size as A4, landscape 2 centimeters around. Therefore, you just go to page setup, go to margins, then custom, then make sure this is 2 centimeters. We just set 2 centimeters, 2 centimeters, 2 centimeters. Alright, you click on OK. Then you go to paper orientation, hit landscape, paper size A4. Therefore, there we are. We have scored our first 5 marks. And also, we are supposed to save this one as this one so that we can score our 5 marks. Therefore, save it, desktop. We are saving it as stored, save. Therefore, up here you can see computer text 01 has been saved. Therefore, then from there we need to go and look at our diagram, how our diagram looks like, so that we can be in a position to draw. Therefore, our diagram looks like this. Therefore, we need to do a bit of drawing. Therefore, go to publisher, insert, shapes, then you take the rectangle with rounded corners, draw it that way, then assign the color given. Just go to shape fill, then we have used texture. I've used some texture, can have that texture. Then again go take the double, that is the rectangle with rounded corners. Then you also assign a bit of some different texture. I've used a bit of some different texture, like just go to fill, texture, see, look at the patterns like that. Then right click, add text. I have copy pasted text. We don't have much time to for typing, therefore after doing that, if we have this star here, if I just need to go to insert, you just try to see which star the examiner has used, probably this one, this star here, and then it should be behind text, therefore send back. Sorry, this one should be front, should be bling front. Good, so that at least when I pull this one, you can see some of the edges are hidden, just like it appears here. Then we have this text, this one, right click, add text. If I paste that one, I paste that, approved by that. Then we have this gadget here, this one, just go and get it where it is. It should be somewhere here, this one. It's not that one. For insert shapes, try to see the gadget that is closer to that. It is closer to that one. I think you can use this. Then try to put it in the shape they want here. So just bring it to closer to that. Then they need to be gray in color, shape gray. They're supposed to be gray in color. Then on the other hand, we have two double lines here. We have a double line, a line there. We also can have another one there. Then this one is dashes. They have used dashes. Then increase the weight so that you can be in a position to see. Therefore, if I take it bigger, that way you'll be in a position to see that we are actually heading somewhere. Then from there, we can just go to this point. We have this one here. So with a certain angle, like that one. Then dark should be black. You change that one to black. Then there is a straight line here, not really straight but diagonal. Also another one drawn here. we are here. Then we have this new syllabus. That one, just have it. You have new syllabus. But should be smaller in size. You can just try to fix it somewhere. Then we have a computer here. Insert picture. Can use Acrobat. So I need to have a computer here. Computer inserted somewhere here. Then there is also a box. Insert. There is insert shape. This one that looks like a window. Somewhere there. Change the color. Can change the color to right inside here, like this one. We want to type inside there, so just right click, add text, that way. Then there is some double headed arrow drawn here. There's some double ended arrow. Insert shape, then double ended. I have copy pasted. Then there is a text box fixed here. A text box fixed here, written form 3. Form 3. That way, form 3. Can increase the font size. Form 3. That way. This is bold. Form 3. Then there is a flow chart, a small flow chart. There is a small flow chart here, drawn here. This one. So you can try to do the same. If I can try to draw the flowchart, insert, then shape. We take this one, then we also take this one. You also take the decision. Take the decision, the flowchart decision. That way. Then we have the arrow. That one. Insert shape. Take the arrow. If we have that one, that way. Then they are white in color. So you can just hit this one, then right click. You want to add text. right click, add text. Therefore this one is start, then this one is right click, you have question mark, then less than 100. Just highlight that one. Then after doing this, this should be borrowed. Start. This one should be centered. Therefore, after doing this, we have a text box here. Return accent. And these are the writers. These are the writers of the book. Then this one, we have to key in some texture for this box. If I could just go to shape, and give it a bit of different texture. Then this one should be centered so that at least it can be in a position almost to be similar to this one. Then for this other one here, sorry, for this here, this one here, you just need to draw a text box here, and then you need to type inside it. This one, you just need to type inside the text box. Then we have the barcode. These ones, you can see this one. We have just drawn insert. I've just drawn a rectangle. That one. Then you just give it color white. Then take arrows. That way, like now, I can copy paste these ones to several. Then I just use the upper arrow key to make sure it is fixed. That way I'm using the upper arrow key. Such. Then just reduce the size of this. Then from here, I need to just thicken, just to choose thick lines there. Just choose some thick lines to make it look like a real barcode. Such. Then from here, you see now it looks like a barcode. Therefore, I just need to hold shift that way. Then need to group this point. Group. Now it becomes one. You see, it becomes a barcode. Therefore, to write up here, I just need to write these numbers here this way. I just need to have a text box. Just to have a text box here, like this one, just a text box. Then inside the text box, you just type your stuff. Therefore, just go to text box, just draw a text box there. Then write your numbers. Like I can just do that way. Just search. We just need to do that one. Just use the text box. And type the number. Therefore, just then you give it the pattern here, format, sorry, here, shape outline, you go to texture or gradient. Actually I used the texture. Then you can choose something different that way. Then you'll be in a position to see our question is almost complete. Then from there we have Mahandaki computer textbook. Therefore we have this part here, this one, that is the Mahandaki. Therefore that one, the spine, we just need to have a text box. You just need to have a text box here. Then you just type Mahandaki this way, then you tilt, and sorry, you just tilt this one and fix it here. Okay, if we just tilt and fix it just like I have done, but you need to tilt it to a good angle, that way. Therefore then you have created the book spine accordingly. Therefore, if you want to add this here, just do the same. You just add it to this part here. We shall have that part here displayed. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, that's how you are supposed to use various tools, that is various equipments, that is we can just call it various tools, various powerful tools in Microsoft Publisher to come up with a duplicate of this book cover, including the spine. And therefore that is the two predictor questions, that is database and DTP, in our 2021/2020 KCSE Computer Practical Predictor. Remember, we had also tackled Excel and Microsoft Word in our previous session. Therefore, remember, you can get this from my website. I have dropped the URL or address of my website below this video, that is gichaidon.co.ke. You can download these question papers and also the materials that I have used to demonstrate on how to accomplish this. Ladies and gentlemen, also remember, I haven't touched mail merge, and mail merge, this one here, mail merge, is also a very sensitive part when it comes to exams. Therefore, you can take your student through mail merge, and if you are a student, you can also consider doing mail merge, so that you can be in a position to to pass in flying colors. But before probably I go away, I can just try to use these ones to take you through simple mail merge. Therefore, I can just paste these ones. Assume these are our addresses. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Therefore, I just save this one on my desktop in one folder, desktop. Just call it mail merge. Therefore, I save this one as, I double click, save it as addresses. That is our data source. Then we close that one. We open another Microsoft Word. Then we can also close this one. We close that one. We also close this one. We don't need it now. Now, assume here is where we shall write our letter. Therefore, we also save it. Save. Go to mail merge folder. This is our letter. This is our letter. See, we have our addresses here and our letter. These are our two files. Therefore, if, for example, I cross this one, I go to mail merge. You see now I have my two files addresses. My addresses are these ones. Therefore, I cross it. Then I go to my letter. here I just type that I would wish to invite you to our wedding party on 1st of April 2021. Use faith free. Done. Therefore, I want to merge those documents, that is those stuff there, with this. Therefore, it is very simple. I'll just go to mailings, then I'll go to this point here, select recipients, then use existing. Then I go straight to my desktop. I go straight to my mail merge. I go straight to addresses. Then once I'm done with that, I just now fix my feeds. Therefore, I just go to this point, insert ID number, enter, insert first name, enter, insert last name, enter, insert county, enter, then insert occupation, for example. Assume these are the feeds that I want captured. Then after I'm done with that, for example, this one I can just make them red, bold. I just go to finish merge, edit individual letters, all okay. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. I am done. Therefore, this is the first guy, the second guy, the third guy, the fourth guy, up to the sixth. You can see I have 6 records. Therefore, I can now again save this one as my third document, desktop, mail merge. Therefore, this is my merged document. There we are. I finish and score 50 out of 50. Therefore, these are my files. Therefore, I only need to go to my desktop. This is my folder. Then I just copy for the examiner to mark. Therefore, that was just a nutshell, though it was not part of the question. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done so. Share with your friends. Let them benefit from the content. Also, remember to download this work from